Welcome to the Hollywood Scholar. I'm Jed Morgan, and I just finished episode 4 of Moon Knight, The Tomb. And this marks the second half of the show starting, and we're starting to wind down, getting closer to the climax, starting to figure out everything that's going on, and, the final stage is supposed to be set. And that's not the case. No. This episode is better than the last one. The last one was abysmal. Like, holy fuck, that last one was terrible. This one's slightly better. There's still a lot of issues with it. It definitely got better in the last 10 minutes. The last 10 minutes were the best part of the episode, even though it was really, cheap and easy good. Obvious stuff. It's hard to get that stuff wrong, but it is still barely okay. It overall just kind of Still, even after the last few episodes, still is the best thing I can give the show. But I will be getting to the spoilers here in a second, so spoiler alert. So again, the best parts of the episode are still Oscar Isaac and Ethan Hawke. They both seem to care a lot. They seem to both be having a lot of fun with their roles and giving it their all. And they're doing an exceptionally good job with that. But even they can't redeem terrible scripts, some god-awful scripts, especially the last episode, but this one was a little bit better. There was a monster that kind of was the antagonist of the middle part of the episode. I liked the monster's design and how it moved and how it sounded, and there were some, PG-13 horror type stuff that was decent. And there was a few parts where it was like a bait and switch on whether or not the monster killed Layla. And I found myself nearly cheering because I hate that bitch. I hate her so fucking much. God, I hate her. She is even more annoying in this episode than in the last one. Still not as much as her first episode, but still pretty annoying. So let's just start from the beginning with some of the issues. So at the beginning of the episode, it picks up right where the last one left off with Steven unconscious in the desert right after they changed the sky, Khonshu imprisoned, and for some reason the bad guys immediately find them at the beginning of this episode. There's no way they should have been able to find them. They were in the middle of the desert, they weren't being hunted, the sky was moving everywhere, so it's not like they could pinpoint where the origin of the sky turning was coming from, but somehow a bunch of bad guys just randomly find them, and there's no explanation for that, even like a meta explanation. I can't think of any reason why they would have been able to find them just at that exact moment, beyond, we need an action scene to start the episode. So that was retarded to start with, but then that action scene that it started with wasn't great. It shows her, Layla, trying to drag Steven's unconscious body for a few seconds and then giving up and just abandoning him and running towards their truck. And the bad guys see her running towards the truck. They even say that, hey, I saw someone running towards the truck. So they drive around it, pointing a spotlight at it in the dark, so you barely see it. And it's like, see, there's no one standing outside this truck. Do these people not realize that you can go inside a car? Are they that fucking stupid? Guy runs a car, can't find guy. Look in car. Easy. An idiot would be able to figure that out, but these guys are just like, I guess this big rock-shaped thing is solid, and there's no one outside of it, so he's not here no more. They were very stupid. If you see someone running towards the truck, and then that person's gone, you look inside the truck. Because that's where she was. And then she just throws a flare into their car and blows up their ammunition stock, which is a lot harder to do than they made it out to be, but it's a movie, so I let that one go. Selfish Layla, she just abandoned Mark and Steven right there in the middle of the desert. The bad guys could have shot him if they wanted to. They were just that stupid that they just kind of stared. It's like, there's a body on the ground. What do we do? But she was also selfish when Steven and Mark were talking to her in the car. They're like, hey, once Khonshu's gone, Steven's the one taking over the body. Mark is just going to go away. And she's like, but you didn't ask me. You didn't ask me. It's so meanie. You guys are meanies. It's like, they're fucking broken. They need to figure their shit out. They need to fix themselves. And however they need to do that, they need to do that. They can't help Layla until they've helped themselves. And so her being a whiny bitch starting to cry about these guys, multiple personality talking, it's like, what are we supposed to do? What are we supposed to do? I guess you should take over the body. I guess I'm going to take over the body, whatever. And yeah, maybe not the right choice, but still, It's not about you, Layla. It's not about you. Let these broken people, this broken man, figure himself out and deal with his issues the best way he can instead of being like, but I want the other one. And then after she finally accepted that Steven was going to be the main personality, she's like, well, you're so much better than Mark because he's like a toxic man. He's toxic masculinity. Fuck him. It's like, yeah, great way to talk about your husband. Yeah, great. So yeah, she's very insufferable and yeah, that was just dumb. But once they get inside Amit's tomb, apparently the maze inside was shaped like the Eye of Horus. I don't think they realize that a maze needs to be connected to all its parts to be considered a maze. And the Eye of Horus, the eyebrow, is completely disconnected from the rest of the symbol. So if there's just this random arch that's completely separate from the maze, there's no point in having it. There's just this random curved hallway built into the wall that you can't access. Why build it? They just wanted the shape of the Eye of Horus. You can't see the Eye of Horus, though. You're not above it, so you don't know whether or not that thing's there. So that was dumb. You have to connect your mazes. But yeah, of course, that was too complicated for these writers to undertake. And they made it seem like the avatar of Amit built that tomb and was behind all the thought process of that, which isn't true, because in the previous episode they said that Medjai was the only one who knew the location of the tomb and was the one who hid it. And if one dude did that, or was the only one alive, did he like kill everyone who built that tomb, or did they just not think about that and wanted, a fancy maze with Indiana Jones style stuff? I think it's the latter one. It would have made more sense if it was just a cave and the sarcophagus was at the end of it and it was just that, nothing else. It was a cave with the sealed entrance. That would make sense how a Medjai was able to do that on his own. But apparently there was a bunch of people and he killed them all himself. Yeah, so that didn't make much sense. And they never explained what that monster guy was. I'm guessing he was one of the priests, but came alive for some unknown reason, even though in that wall where they first met the monster, there were about 6-8 other of those same priests, so why didn't they come to life? And so that was a little inconsistent. I did like the monster's design and how he moved and all that, but they didn't clarify why he was awake. I think they just wanted a bad guy. They just need something. And yeah, I don't know how the bad guys were getting around the Harrow's men, how they were getting around the tomb, because they made it kind of clear that after the Eye of Horus part, it was pretty either one way or the other, and they didn't know about the other way. So I don't know how they did that. And Harrow, with his glass-sharded feet, wouldn't have been able to, skimmy across those ledges that Layla had to go forward. So one way, and that one way requires a lot more dexterity than someone with that bad of a foot condition could undertake. So that was dumb. And Alexander the Great and Amit's mission didn't really align, so it didn't make sense why he was her avatar. And I think they just wanted some famous person with a missing tomb to be the avatar, but it should have been someone with a little bit more closely held ideals to Amit's, because Amit's like, hey, I'm going to judge you, and, much more of a judicial type person than Alexander the Great, who's just like, I want a big-ass empire. That doesn't exactly align with Amit, so it didn't really make sense why he was her avatar. There was no correlation between the two characters besides, we want an Egyptian pharaoh who's missing, but to make him unique, let's make him not from Egypt, and so they picked their only option. And Alexander the Great, a lot of that is fuzzy. I don't remember ever hearing him say, you have to call me Egyptian. That was kind of weird. I mean, he took over Europe before he came down to Africa, so I don't know what that was all about. But yeah, that didn't make any sense. Yeah, and then Layla, when the Harrow's men started showing up and they were in the tomb and it was like break glass scenario, I don't know how she got there, because they made it clear that the path that Steven took was a unique path that led to the tomb, but then they all just ended up there in the end anyway, so this place doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I didn't get the geography of it very clear. But then right when, the world's in the balance and, bad guys might come and take this evil god who will kill half of Earth or something like that, she decides now's the time to interrogate the personality who doesn't have answers about your father's death, instead of, getting away, safe distance, and then dealing with him. And if she had done that, Mark and Steven wouldn't have gotten shot at the end of the episode. They might have had a chance to get away. But no, my Fifi's hurt, and it's all about me, and I don't care if you die. Answer me now. No, She's been established to be, well, she's been told to us, not established by showing, but she's been told to us to be a very good skills, uh, mercenary skills, fighting skills. Even though there's no reason so far that she would have those, but a very competent person who's been in situations like these before. She would know. All right, I need to control my emotions. We're gonna get outside, and then we can talk about this. But we need to get out of danger first. That's what they've told us this character is. But they've shown her to be a whiny, self-centered bitch. Yeah. So I don't sure how that will work together, but they just wanted their cake and eat it too. She's got to be a strong, powerful woman, but we need drama, and those two things conflict in our inept minds and writers who can't do shit. So yeah, that was insane. I did like once they started getting to the insane asylum after Steven and Mark got shot. It was really basic stuff. Like, they clearly took it from Joker, and they wanted you to believe that he might be insane, but they threw that out the window really fast. So like, it was a short-lived, might be okay. I think a whole episode should have been in that space between Mark realizing what's going on and what his delusion. They only gave us a few minutes of that transition of Mark being confused, being out of his mind, being on drugs. Like, that should have been a whole episode in and of itself before coming to that realization. So it was a short-lived of the episode, and then they threw out everything I liked too fast. And now it's just inside his head, Inception style, so there's no point in caring about the mechanics of what's going on. But it was clear that Layla was still a bitch, even in his head insane asylum, because yeah, she stole his bingo card and it's like, I think I'll share with you this time. And so yeah, she just stole his bingo and whatever prize came along with it. So yeah, she's a bitch, even in an insane asylum in his head. So not surprised about that, because yeah, she's a total cunt. But yeah, that's kind of how the episode went. Not a whole lot to like, not a whole lot to dislike. It was a lot more meh than the last episode, but still worse than the first two. So we'll see how it all turns out. And I'm still not looking forward to the rest of the season, but I'm still going to review it because I've gotten this far, only 2 episodes left. I can make it that far. But anyway, that's all I have for today. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Please like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video. Anon. If you like what I do here and want to see good, compelling stories that Hollywood will no longer give you, check out my book series, Odyssey of a Phoenix, a mythological epic about philosophy, morality, and modern-day mental illness issues. Books 1, Down in Flames, and Book 2, Apocalypse Then, currently on sale. Book 3, Kill the Dark, coming soon.